I believe never to allow anyone else to do my thinking for me. This was my father's law, and was so deeply embedded in his soul that late in his life, shackled by dementia, he spoke the first sentence I'd heard from him in months, the first full sentence. And it was, "I love you, but I'm angry with you. You are making decisions for me." It was the last sentence I ever heard my father speak. I've learned that in addition to having better luck than my dad did to make this law work all through one's life, requires hard work and humility. Lots and lots of humility. That's not easy. I tend to like my ideas, but I must admit that virtually everything about which I must think has been generated first by someone else. The books I read, the art I enjoy, the talking heads who bombard me, all fill my mind with thoughts that are not first my own. My dependence on the thoughts of others is nearly complete. Nearly. But my independent portion is to sift, to weigh, and to test, to determine whether to make that information or belief my own. On the edges, I may create. But and that's only if I do my job very, very well. But I cannot do it out of nothing. Then again, if God did not create out of nothing, I'm reasonably comfortable with that reality. My humility must extend far beyond my dependence on the work of others. I must realize my limitations in ability and time. However smart we seem to be, it's never smart enough. There's always someone smarter, and there's always about something which we're not very smart. Even the most brilliant, mythical, perfect thinker has only 24 hours in a day, and I find 24 hours a day quite inadequate. In fact, I've found 62 years quite inadequate. Because I know also that I know everything with very incomplete, even flawed information, I know my thinking must be, by definition, more or less flawed. So what to do about it? Well, first, remain open, curious, and engaged in learning. Big ideas crying for their statements. So here are just two practical ideas I found very helpful in trying to live this dictum. I've come to believe firmly in dialogue, not just the journal I love, but in the tussle and enlightenment of the free exchange of ideas face to face. I enjoy the blogs, but I long to hear the tones. I long to see the expressions so that the words will have more meaning for me. So for 30 years, I've hosted unofficial firesides in my home, often author presentations and discussions. I've learned that much of the information I need, I don't yet know that I need, and much of that information will come first from others, and largely in conversation with them. Their ideas, their suggestions for reading, their critiques of what I'm thinking. I've also taught adults in church most of 40 years. Too often I see a baffling fear of ideas and of putting one's ideas out in the marketplace to be questioned, to be enhanced, qualified, rejected, or accepted. Sometimes the fear seems sadly justified by a perception that different ideas are personal attacks. And so I believe that as the teacher, I must add new information, play devil's advocate, and challenge conventional wisdom, all hopefully in a climate of safety for those willing to engage in the fray, and for those who impose their own silence and would condemn a neighbor too. Even if I feel compelled to debunk a falsehood or challenge what appears on poor judgment, I've failed if I have not at least convinced the speaker. I'm grateful for their courage in putting forth an idea, and I'm hopeful they will continue to do so. My maiden name, the name in which I still dream, is McClellan. Our clan motto is think on. I hope my father knows that proudly and humbly I shall try to do so as long as I can.